Hi guys, before we get started, I just wanted to warn you guys that there's some parts of this episode where things cut off or audio cuts off, and I just want to apologize for that. My internet has not been the best lately. Anyway, sorry. Let's get to the episode.
I think she's nervous because she's in the presence of me. But that makes sense.
That's the intro. That's it.
Pick up the mic and make some noise. Raise your voice.
Hey guys, it's Ari. I'm here with another episode of Raise Your Voice, and as for high request and high demand, I brought some guest speakers onto the show. So I'd like for them to introduce themselves, starting with...
Hi, I'm hekomu, or Hiko for short. I'm a fairly well-known artist and the Chili's crew admin on Highrise. A lot of people would know me more from my design posts, where I create my own items and replicate the Highrise style in hopes of tricking a lot of people.
Wow, trickster.
Hello, I'm MoshiHime. You can just call me Moshi or Hime, any one of those. I'm a content creator on Highrise. I mainly do digital art. I'm not really good at talking and I'm self-conscious of my voice, but I'll try my best.
Hi, my username is AlexJunior. I'm a content creator from the UK, but I grew up in South Africa. I don't know why I add that, but whatever. I mostly post outfit reviews and other stuff. I said other stuff because I don't really have like any particular thing I post because like I'm just one of those content creators, you know.
Just a little reminder that they all apply to talk in this episode, so if you're ever interested in being a guest speaker on the show, I'll include a link to the application form in the description. Anyone is open to join as long as you have Highrise, obviously. We're gonna get started with our topics right now. Our first topic of today's episode is if there's a method of becoming a content creator, and a lot of people on Highrise have asked me like, hey, how did you get your badge on Highrise, or how did you get verified, blah 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 blah. And usually I always point them to the frequently asked questions thing in Highrise's settings, but honestly, to me, I don't really know if there's a method. Like when I was verified, I didn't really try for the badge, or I didn't do anything specific to get verified. I just posted what I normally would have posted regardless of the badge, and one day it just appeared. But I know there's a written way to become verified, which Hekomu will go over right now.
So through fax tips to becoming a CCC member, they want an interesting feed. So if you post art, your like buildings, humor, edits, etc., and it doesn't have to be high-rise specific, but just any hobby that you're really passionate for. And also they want an engaging feed, like interesting, void of spam, so no selfies or reposts. They want you to really get into the community as well with socializing, taking part in competitions, and engaging with other people of the community.
It's also important for you to be noticed as well. Like you can have all of those things, but if Renee doesn't see any of your content, you're not going to get verified. So that's why it's important to use the CCC hashtags that staff members people can see your posts.
But some people don't know who Renee is, so could you possibly, sorry to put you on the spot, but like, could you possibly go over who she is?
So basically, she's like the queen of verified people.
I mean, yeah.
You have a point.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's in her bio, I can't remember, but anyway. So Renee is the queen of verified people, and she is the one that decides who gets verified, who doesn't, and if you use the CCC hashtag, she will look through it and see if she likes your content or if she doesn't.
They never verified me. Yeah, verified by Renee. No, I got it by Anthony, and I didn't even get that special message. I'm mad.
Wow. Discrimination.
Wow.
No, yeah.
Just kidding, just
Like
kidding.
Renee, baby, Renee, if you want to hit me up.
A late message. Did someone get that though? Like actually someone got that, like a late
I
message?
think that was Aros.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
kinda
was it?
fun.
I don't think it was. I think.
I thought it was.
Was it?
Because I also like knew that he got verified the first time by Anthony, and then Renee obviously came back for him. Okay, so on to a few more points.
Becoming a content creator isn't really easy to obtain. The only answer that I can mainly give is to have patience and have content that people will like to see. One thing to remember is to not beg for it. if you beg for it, people will see you as a whiner, annoying, or like something like that. If you get into like a lot of dramas, there's like a less chance for you to be a content creator. And then people also like to see positive contents. If you have like negative contents on yourself and all over your page and stuff, people won't like seeing that. Keep up the positive vibe and create good content that people would like to see.
The thing about being a content creator is like it's all about positivity, because in the end, like the reason you get verified to me is to just make highrise a better place, especially for newcomers who like some CC, like that's the first person they see on highrise. So if your first impression of highrise is positive content based on that creator, you know, people are more likely to stay. Just because there's a specific written guide to becoming verified, I just don't believe the badge is guaranteed once you follow all these steps and advices, because obviously patience is key. Some people have been waiting years to get this badge, who have followed who follow all the written strategies and are closely connected with everyone, but never actually get verified. So if anyone has some thoughts on that, like what's some advice you'd give people who have been waiting so long for a badge but don't get it, you know?
I think just the main thing is your content needs to be seen. Like, you need to focus on advertising your content, I would say. Like, you want people to see it, you want Renee to see it, and I think any kind of content that can get a reaction from people, that can get people talking about it, that is the kind of content you want to do. And I think that's why artists probably get the most reception with whatever they post.
You gotta kind of know people a lot as well. You gotta communicate more. You gotta push yourself out, know those like kind of higher up people, as in like more known people, so they can share your content and get that seen, like a link to Alex. It's that little help that will get people to talk about you and all this. Just don't be afraid to make friends in that kind of community.
Yeah, I agree, and I would say that actually applied to how I became verified. Like, back in like 2018, 2019, I only became verified because it was because I was building, but it was also, I feel like, because I had connections. So like Mac and Lawrence were probably the main two, and like they helped promote my content quite a bit. So I definitely owe a lot to them. And yeah, so I definitely think you need to find people who do have an influence on highrise, and maybe try and get into their circles. It's like it's weird to say, but like I feel like that's just how you do it. I don't know.
Don't try to use them or anything. Like actually
Yeah,
try to be their friends, but it would help.
Yeah, just mooch off of everyone's fame. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that. Don't ever
Oh, that's
do
what
that.
I've been. That's what I've been doing to arrows for years. Don't tell them.
As it goes public, like this entire video goes
We both admitted we use people.
Moving on, let's talk about who actually gets verified in the community. I saw a comment that someone noticed that the majority of content creators are artists, and the question here is if there's a specific type of content that gives you a higher chance of becoming CCC. Like Alex mentioned, maybe it's artists. Like, is it really art?
So this might be a controversial thing to say, but I do think artists make the best content on highrise, and that's why they get verified. Like, they put hours and hours into the commissions they make, and it takes so long. And also, it's just like, it's the best eye candy on highrise, I feel like. But when you compare it to someone like me, like
No,
like,
your reviews are good.
oh, thank you. But who like takes like 5 minutes on it though? It's like
You're just roasting yourself.
And I feel like that's why they get verified easily, because their content is just so quality, and it's like it's so much. I feel it's so much better than like an outfit of the day, which is like that would take like 2 minutes to make. Or an edit, okay, an edit might take a little longer, but still, I feel like art is just the best kind of content on highrise, and I think I'm glad highrise promotes that more than anything else. I feel like that deserves to be promoted the most.
I agree. I feel like it deserves to be seen because artists on highrise are just like not that loved in the fact of like no one really pays them enough. There's not enough exposure. But at the same time, there is more exposure than just like spawn rooms or like anything like that. Edits, like you said. I feel like they get more seen due to those commissions, so they're more likely to be verified and all this stuff because people are reposting them more than anything. Like grab designs as well, for example, for content, for contests, people always repost them and get them seen because they love it and they want other people to love it for like more of a chance to have it a grab.
Like
Or-
500 likes.
No, yeah.
Oh, I got.
They,
Oh,
yeah, they
God.
get like the
Yeah.
most likes on any kind of
Isn't-
post on highrise.
Like didn't I forgot whose grab it was, but like someone's grab got like literally hundreds and hundreds of likes and reposts, and I was like, dang, like I've never seen that many.
My last grab design got over 500 likes alone and was like
I've
90
literally
reposts.
never got a post
Oh
over
my gosh.
500 in my life.
Mean,
I've tried.
it's crazy. Like,
Why didn't
Which makes
500
flex.
people like my outfit reviews?
tell him you go off on them. Go off on them right now. This is your
Come on,
time.
come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's definitely the second best content on highrise. Like, it deserves that.
Yeah, I agree. A big part of the community is the art, and I'm not trying to be biased because I'm an artist, you know, like, wow, we should be recognized more. But, like, really, art is what draws attention to the game itself. Like, the actual items themselves are literally pieces of art. Like, artists, like, real artists, you know, design them and stuff. And sometimes I do think, like, maybe it's not so much that the majority of content creators are artists because of any bias, like, in the staff members that choose them, but it's just because like a lot of people don't do anything else like that special and recognizable. Not saying like building isn't special.
Ooh.
No, okay, no.
Drama.
No. like it's not that it's not special, but it's just that it's not as recognizable. Like it's not like a big part of the community, and like, you know, people can change that. Like I know there's like a lot of builders who like make it like extremely like astonishing builds that can like they could probably like sweep artists away with like how talented they are too. But like sometimes you can see a build and you can't pinpoint who made it without seeing like the username because it's not as recognizable and unique. But with art, you know, you'll see like someone on the explore page and like you'll be like, yeah, I know who made that piece of art. Like some people have really unique styles and it's more appreciated and it just stands out.
Well, I do think artists are favored more for many reasons. Art is real beauty. It's a beautiful skill and to have. I'm pretty sure people would love to see artworks on their Explorer.
Like how I said earlier, how like new people when they join, like the first impression, like, oh god, what did I say? I literally forgot what I said before, but like it was something about first impressions. But like when
They wanna see
people
positive.
yeah, like when people see like the really beautiful art and stuff, like when they first join, they're like, wow, beautiful art, you know, like like it's just more pleasing to see it. You know, maybe there's a bias, but you know, maybe it's for a good reason, or maybe like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think there is a bias, and I think it's good that there is a bias. Like, there's definitely a bias because artists can get verified after joining for like a month.
Oh my god, yeah.
Where people who do other stuff will not get verified for like a long time. And I think it's accepted with artists because their content is just it is so much better than any other content, I think. So yeah, I think they deserve it a little bit, to be honest.
Now, just to stray away from art and content creating stuff, let's talk about highrise itself, like noobs and elites, and specifically like stereotypes and like this like weird dichotomy that you often see between noobs and elites. And we'll start off with Alex.
I don't know what that word means, but I'll just answer anyway.
Dichotomy means division.
So-
I didn't either, Alex. I didn't.
So yeah, I think this. First of all, I think this is like a really controversial topic on highrise. Like, I think no matter what your opinion on this is, you're gonna get like maybe hate from it. But anyway, I definitely think there's division between the noobs and the elites, and I think the economy of highrise has a big part of that. I think some noobs believe that it's elites that raise the prices of everything, which in a lot of cases it is. I definitely agree with that. But I think a lot of the time it is the noob who will get one nice item, and because it's their only one good item, they will treasure it so much, and when they sell it, they're gonna sell it for a lot more than someone who has a lot of expensive items would, because it is their one expensive item. And I feel like this causes a domino effect, and raises prices of all items. But I do think that elites definitely have a big part in raising the prices of items. I think crews also have a big part in that.
Another point to that is that people buying it for those prices, people that think it's acceptable to have that price range and will pay for said expensive items, that are keeping it so high and possibly higher when they go and pay those prices.
It's really what I talked about in my last episode too. Like, people who are willing to spend so much also are the people that raise the prices for everyone else. And that kind of sucks because, oh my god, you don't know how many times I try to buy
Rest
something.
in peace, your chip cheeks.
Yeah,
chip cheeks,
literally
man.
the chip cheeks. Oh god. Sometimes I think it's just because noobs don't really understand the economy once they first join. Like, it's not like entirely their fault either because no one ever really explains it to them. There's no like tutorial teaching them how to price stuff, or no tutorials teaching them how tax works or how tags like Storefront Explorer, SF Explorer work. And it's kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic because selling and buying is such a key mechanic of highrise, and it's what makes highrise unique in my opinion. And there's nothing that really helps people out with that part of highrise when they first join. And you can't always, like, when you start off as a noob, you can't always like ask people like, hey, how does this work? Because sometimes people just shut you down. Like, I've seen people who do that, and people did that to me when I first joined. So it's not really easy for noobs, and I really understand that.
So just one elite stereotype that comes to my mind, I think this is going a little bit off topic, but it's that they don't want to talk to people with not many items, which is kind of like what you just said. And I do think that it is a stereotype, but it is also true as well. But it's not something that all elites are like, I would say. But a lot of them are. I think definitely for me, if I get messages from like people who have literally nothing, like they just joined, and it's just like, oh, are you selling this? I will not reply.
Oh yeah, me too. I feel bad
Because
too.
I don't, to be honest, I don't feel that bad because I just,
Oh.
well, I do feel bad, but because I know that if I reply saying, oh yeah, that's 2.4k, I just know it's going to waste both their time and my time, so I would just rather not. And because I get a lot of PMs about that, of people just asking me, it like really spams me, so that's why I can't reply to every single one, so that's why a lot of them I just clear.
Sometimes I do see like elites that go crazy over noobs who like ask for donations and like ask how the game works and stuff. Like, I see that on posts sometimes, like on Explorer stuff. And to me, that stereotype kind of like people who actually fall into the stereotype of like not wanting to talk to people with a lot of items, like refusing, like absolutely refusing and like going off on them. It says more about them as a person rather than like elites as a whole. Like, sometimes you just like can't respond to them because you know like it's gonna be a waste of time. Like, you're not doing that because you're being mean to them. It's just because it's better for both parties, and it's not like you're trying to ignore them. It's just that, you know.
And I think if I will say this, if I get any messages from people that ask me, like, I got a message from someone today and they were like asking, oh, how do you like post a picture because mine keeps cutting off, and I was trying to help them with it because if people ask me questions like that, I will 100% reply, 100%. But it's questions about my storefront or like stuff like that when I know the person can't buy. And I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but there are just some instances where I just know you cannot buy that item.
Okay, tiny story related to this, but one time I was selling something, I think it was like worth 5k or something, and someone who just like they just joined was asking like, hey, how much is this, like how much are you selling? And I was like, oh, it's 5k. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna buy gold and get it right now. And I was like, what? Like, there are noobs who literally do that, and it surprises me. So sometimes I just respond to everyone because, you know, just in case. Just in case someone wants to buy gold, like, at that moment, just to get some. But also I have no life, so I can't really, like, I don't have, it's not like they're wasting my time. It's just that, like, you know.
I don't think anyone who has high rise has a life.
True.
Genuinely.
Now that's facts. I know there's been some noobs who've talked to me, and they get, like, so mad at me because, like, I don't know how to explain it, but they think like I'm just like a bad person because I won't sell them something for cheap and stuff like that. And I know there's like a lot of stereotypes like that where elites are like the bad guys of high rise and oh they overprice everything, and even like the word elite to me it has like a negative connotation now, but there really shouldn't be because we're all humans, you know, behind a screen, and the number of items and experience that you have doesn't make you less or more than anyone else. And I know like a lot of noobs get so scared talking to elites, or they think of elites as snobby and like mean and stuff, that like the division is naturally there. But people like you know, Alex, like how you said, like if someone asks you, like if a noob asks you how stuff works and stuff, you can remove that like division immediately just by talking to them and just by making friends, even if they don't have anything, even if they just started. Like they're human after all. It's not that's like a chance for you to make a friend, you know.
I agree 100%.
My own story about this. Just maybe a couple months ago. This makes it sound like I've hung on to it like it's something that's really deeply hurt me. That's not the case, but just chilling in a chat room, like living it up as we do, sitting in silence, and suddenly I just get this kind of comment in the chat room being like, oh hey, hekomu, what's that thing you're wearing? How much is it worth? And I tell them the price, and then I hop into chat thinking that was it. I come back into the chat room from chat and I realize that they've started to gang up on me because I was an elite and a CCC member because I wasn't replying, and because I wasn't replying I was suddenly snobby and very rude to them, disrespectful, that I wasn't giving them their time of day when I was just in the chat, in my chat, so I was reading what they were saying to me and thinking, why are you against me? You can see that I'm not looking. I'm sorry.
Wow.
This whole chat room started going for it, thinking that I was this devil of a person because I didn't tell them how much my petals in the wind was worth. Like, come on.
Yeah, like I said, that says more about them than it does about you or like noobs in general. Like, just be a
Please
decent
no,
person.
I would happily tell you. I would happily tell you if you came to me privately and all this stuff, or waited for me to come back in to tell you. You don't have to jump on me and think I'm just not giving you the time you deserve. We need to remember each other with respect. It's how the game works, and players need to learn this knowledge and stuff. And people like us, people who are elites, will happily tell new players. Most of us, I hope, would happily tell new players if they came to us. It doesn't have to be them asking for items. If they do ask for items, then just let them ask you questions if you really think they're a new player and all this stuff. And new players, just don't be afraid to and feel like you'll be looked down upon because you're just setting yourself up for failure. Talk to us, talk to elites. Try and get that information to help you progress in this game.
Yeah, and I would definitely say if you want to be extra safe, maybe talk to a CCC person rather than an elite, just because in some situations the elite might actually
Yeah, be awful.
not. You should be careful because we are all human, yeah, but like there are people on the game who definitely will not answer your questions. And I think you're going to be safer with asking a CCC person.
Just be nice. Be nice to each other, please.
So, moving on to the next topic. This is for noobs, okay? If you're a noob, come here, listen right now. So, ew, that sounded really, really bad. That sounded really bad.
Hey, come close to the mic.
No, that's what I meant.
I can smell you.
I don't mean to creep you out. Let me just put a disclaimer here. I'm not trying to catch a case, okay? But if you're new, I personally think this is like my number one tip. Every time someone asks me like, hey, what are some tips to get some of that shmoney, you know? I'm gonna tell them, participate in events. It's the easiest way to help you start off on high rise, other than like, for me it was selling commissions that started me off, but eventing was like the thing that really like pushed me. I don't think there's like a need to spend gold to rank decently. Like I haven't spent gold in my entire life on events, and I rank decently. And frankly, just eventing in general is the best source of profit if you don't want to buy gold or do commissions, etc., etc. In my opinion, all you have to do is just be active and remember certain strategies for each event, because it's different for each event. And also stick with the crew because they're gonna help you out a lot, especially if there's a lot of people in the crew. They'll definitely help you a lot.
I think another thing to add to that was when you do take part in events, definitely it's easier to go for like the easiest item to get. Like you can slowly start doing better and better. But yeah, I think on highrise you start at the bottom and you have to work your way to get more and more stuff. So don't expect to get everything so quickly.
You really do start from the bottom. Like everyone who's joined highrise. No one started with all this stuff. We all worked hard to get it.
I wish there was more indication and advice on the high-rise side for events. Like, when I was a new player, it took me months to understand and come to the realization that eventing was like a huge part of the game, and probably for some new players that were like me are struggling to get around because they're just not using the events to actually help them boost themselves in gold and such.
Get your knowledge from other people. Just event. I don't know.
No, but like
Just event! Just event!
Just
yeah,
events,
just you just do it.
Get those lower rewards that you can achieve and sell them to gain other items or gold. When starting off poor or as a noob, always know that you'll get somewhere if you're dedicated enough to participate in events. Earn those rewards. Work your way up slowly.
That's a thing, especially for me. Like, a lot of new eventers get really, really frustrated, like, wondering, like, why am I not getting enough tickets? And why am I not getting these rewards? And honestly, it's all about strategy and dedication. So if you're just wasting all your boosts and tokens and gold and etc., of course, like, the event's gonna be a waste for you. So most of the time, you'll get what you put in as long as you put it in, like, strategically.
and get that crew boost.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like when I was starting, I literally didn't know what crews were and I was just eventing and doing whatever. Then I found out what it was and I was like, huh, my life is easier now.
Topic, but crews are the best part of high-rise.
Honestly? Facts. That's facts.
Like, if you don't have a crew, please get in a crew. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
need a crew. You can make friends so much easier, and then, of course, with the eventing, just,
I used to crew hop a lot. Like, I know, like, a lot of crew owners are like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
a crew
scum.
hopper. But, like, yeah, I know. But, like, no, I used to crew hop a lot. But that's, like, the way I got all these connections with, like, all these people that I know. That's how, like, I got inspired to make my own crew because I crew hopped. And I just met so many people. I met so many people. And it's just, like, you just gotta get yourself out there. Like, if you're antisocial, which I am, definitely. I don't seem like it, but I am. Like, all these crews and online friends that you're gonna make on highrise help you so much with like gaining confidence, in my opinion. That was so off topic of eventing, but like crews best.
Right, listen. I had to say it. Someone had to say it.
Had to say what?
I know they're like always.
Crew hopping is how I like made some of the connections and friends I have on highrise right now. Like
We're all just admitting, like confessing all of our sins right now. Sometimes I believe there are some eventing mechanics on highrise's side that could be improved. And recently, something just came up on highrise's side where they changed all the ticket rewards and all the orders of stuff. I don't really know a lot about it because I didn't notice it. But I was just wondering if you guys had anything to say about how to make events possibly more fair for everyone, not just one side or the other, and you know, just make it easier for everyone.
there are definitely some events that are all about gold and all about how much gold you spend. Like for example, prank and
Oh my god.
collect. That's those two in particular. Like it's you can't do well if you don't spend gold. But there are others that are like casinos. Like I definitely think it's more crew themed. Once you have a good start in casino, that's how you like get really far. And with fashion, I feel like I don't know how I feel about how they've changed rewards. Like, didn't they make it so it's like one's at 2 million, then the next one's like 25 million or something like that?
It was kind of weird because like there was one theme where it was like literally all over the place, and then like 3 of them were normal. Then this one right now is a little bit different. So like, I don't know why they like changed it all of a sudden without like saying anything, and like why it's so out of order, and I don't know.
That's this is really off topic, but the fact that you said that they didn't say anything, I feel like that's another big problem on highrise is that staff do not communicate basically anything. Like I think this Q&A that they're doing is really good because I don't think I've ever seen anything like this
There's a
from them
Q&A?
before. Yes, they did a Q&A.
How could you
Oh
not
my
know?
gosh.
But I actually made a post about that literally like the day before they did that Q&A. Not saying that like they did it because of my post, but like they took down my post off Explore, so maybe.
Oh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
It wasn't
you're
that,
in
it was something
trouble.
It was just me saying I feel like staff do not communicate enough people and they do not talk. And I feel like as a player on the game, I feel like I'm allowed to like have an opinion like that and say stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think if they do not communicate much, which they don't, then we should be able to like say, okay, well, we're the ones paying you, so can you please like give us an update on what you're doing? Like we just want to like be updated. That's all. And I
Yeah.
feel like if they had more staff, they could do that. If they not more staff, but just even more moderators, they could do that. And just if they communicated more, like it's really not that hard. Just let us know what you're doing, because I don't think I've seen like any communication from them, barely any communication from them in like the last 2 years, except for Renee, who like talked to us in the CCC chat like a few days ago. But aside from that, barely anything.
So many games like have like developer pages or like developer forums and stuff where they just like list of all the stuff that they changed in every single update and stuff. Like I don't know why it's so hard to like not do something like that, because it would help us as players like a lot understand what's going on in the game and understand the changes that are made. You're all in the Discord, right? Like the highrise Discord. Like they have the beta announcements and stuff, something like that, where it's like consistent, or maybe not consistent, but like where they like announce like all the changes that they make to the beta app. Like why can't we have that also in highrise, where they just tell us like all the things that are going on in normal highrise? Like I don't know how to like emphasize it more.
That's why you need to get like staff from this. Like you must be a staff. I feel like there must be a staff member that is listening to this
No,
right now.
no, yeah. There's I know, yeah, Renee listened because she messaged me that she listened, and then one of the artists, Anman, I believe, she also
I mentioned her name
listened.
a few times. I really appreciate, especially Rennie,
Rennie.
Renee listening.
I thought you said Remy. I was like, Ratatouille.
I definitely appreciate her listening because I feel like she puts a lot of effort in, and even though I've said a lot of stuff about her before, not like, oh my goodness, that sounds like, I don't know. But,
Drag her. No, I was kidding.
but she definitely puts in a lot of effort, so I think she deserves a lot of credit there. But yeah, I just think we need more communication, and I feel like so many problems would be fixed if there was just communication. Like even with everything that went down with the recent the grab and the winners, I think if there were just more communication there, it really would have like, okay, there still would have been backlash because like that's just what happens. But
That's just how it happens.
just some communication would have made it better for a lot of people, I feel like.
Back to events though. Considering high earners, like those who are able to hit like hundreds of millions of tickets and can possibly get kicked off of their reward tiers by like one rank, how do we make events more fair for those people and make sure that they're getting the rewards that they deserve after possibly spending like thousands of gold?
I feel like one point is that Highrise needs to readjust ticket rewards. Like they try to by putting stuff in between the 75 mil and the start, of course, but we need more than 75 mil for those high earners. It needs to make it worth the gold and the hundreds of pounds or dollars, whatever your currency is, that they put into the game, into that event. Once you like win the last reward, there's nothing left but emptying the bank just to keep your rank. It's not worth the effort to be able to make the gold back that they lost to that event.
Yeah. Because that's like my number one concern about spending gold, which is why I never like spending or never have spent gold. It's just because like if you spend too much, there's no way you can get it back, and it's basically just like throwing away everything that you worked hard for just to get nothing back, you know. It really sucks.
Like, unless you get that top 10 hair that everybody wants that
Oh my
goes for 200k, then you are not getting your money back.
Target.
There were a lot of events that I took part in where I would literally be rank 11 or like there was one that just comes to mind. It was like a skateboard event a really long time ago, and it was my first event that I was trying to go for top 10, and I was so close, and I ended up in the last like 5 minutes I ran out of money, and then I was rank 11. I just felt so like awful about it because I don't even think the crew got rank 1 award either.
Oh my god.
So, like I just lost so much from that, and I've just.
Okay.
More of the story: don't play highrise.
I really hope no one like cuts little parts of what we said and like posts it.
Oh my, like out of context.
Out of context.
Oh my gosh.
Don't tempt Cactus. Don't do it.
Oh no.
Cactus water fix your hair, and
Oh.
keep that in. I want to know if he's listening.
I mean, this is probably gonna be like 40 minutes in. Let's test them.
Yeah, let's test. If he doesn't respond to that, he's fake.
All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for today. Once again, if you're interested in talking on the show, there's an application form in the description, and it's welcome to anyone who wants to fill it out. And before we really end it, is there anything else you guys like to say? Any shout outs or any...
Use hashtag Ormo, use hashtag Ormo. Hashtag Ormo.
Isn't there like 1,000 posts under it? you still want people to tag?
There's so many people doing rate my outfit, man.
I think there's like 2,300 on both hashtags.
Oh my
I
jeez.
don't even know I'm promoting it.
Spin my grab when it
Oh my god.
comes out, please.
I'm following my sister if you're following her.
Oh
I don't
my
like
gosh.
her.
You're so nice though.
Kidding. I know, but I hate it. Everyone's like, oh, she's so nice and you're so mean.
We love you, Growth, really. We stand.
No, we
We
don't.
do stand.
No, we don't.
Alex,
Oh.
get out. Get out.
Mackenzie, please post more. I love you though. I love her. She's my favorite. I love her.
Anything else?
I love Maz's Tired's art. Shout her out there.
Are we literally gonna call
Yeah,
out like everyone
the
we
entire
know?
like CCC chat. We're just gonna.
Right, Chili's group chat.
Oh.
We love you. I am your admin. I am your queen. Bow to me. I'm not the boss. Arrows is the boss. I need to remember this.
Oh my gosh.
No one is fake. Except for maybe Cactus Water. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's Cactus. It's only
Oh.
Cactus.
Okay, it's over. I'm done.
I guess that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and tune into the next episode, which I believe will be, I think maybe next week will be my next episode. That was such a bad outro. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'm
Yay.
cancelled.
Pick up the mic and make some noise. Raise your voice.